approximately 72% of remaining.
Oh well. Karma's a bitch.
Hey! You read. You know the one synced up.
Photos don't exactly do it justice. It was one of the most devastating and disgusting things that you
Yeah, let's get it, motherfuckers. Welcome to my motherfucking stream. This is Booty. Oh shit. Forgot to tell you, Tom Bomb. Streaming. Got nobody watching me, but I'm streaming. alright at this game. I don't completely suck, but let's get it, bro. Alright. Got a shotgun. Found the golden suppressed pistol, bro. Oh shit. I got you, Tom. I got you. Ah. Tried.
There's people on almost. I'm gonna get ready to get the fucking. Yeah, don't put. We're gonna leave it at 5. Hey, beat that wall, beat that wall. Oh, come on. Get the water, get the wall, shit. Oh. Get the water, get the wall, shit. Oh. No. Sorry, I made that. I did my thing. Oh! Oh, hell yeah. Oh! Oh my god! Get it! I'm fucking. I got it.
Welcome to my... No!
Crazy than the shit I got on my head.
What are you gonna say now? Isn't it clear I don't
This nigga crazy. This nigga owns it. I can't believe he's still talking.
If you feel as if your physical identity has to be the same as everyone else's to be socially acceptable. You're stupid. Be yourself. You're stupid as fuck. Go to my dog, man. You dig? Hey! And it's really sad that no one feels the need to take a stand and make a difference. And the only way we're gonna do that is if we put our heads together and really see the bigger picture. Man, let there be peace meetings. Let there. What's up, everybody? Frazier here for Complex. J. Cole lays pretty low between albums, but Jumper podcast. The two had a wide-ranging and illuminating conversation, touching on the heavy topics of religion and atheism, as well as other things. Their convo eventually turned to the controversial artist XXXTentacion. I was so disconnected to what was going on, like, just stop being a fan. Last year, I decided I have to stop that. I have to allow myself to become a fan. Last year when XXXTentacion got punched on stage and it was clearly big enough to make it into my realm, I'm like, damn, but what does bruh do? That leads me to hear some of his shit. I'm like, damn, this is actually talented. Now, X is, as we all know, embroiled in a host of legal problems, facing charges of aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, as well as multiple additional felony charges related to witness tampering and witness harassment. Despite the disturbing allegations made against X, artists such as Kendrick Lamar have co-signed the rapper. Upon X's release of his debut album 17 last August, Kendrick took to Twitter to promote it. Listen to this album if you feel anything. Raw thoughts. Kendrick even followed that tweet with another message admitting he was on his 5th listen of the album. Joey Badass also seems to have co-signed X. Both he and X recently teased a collaborative tape on their Instagram stories. If, like Cole, you want to see what the hype is about, X's last project was a ghetto Christmas carol. Might we see an X and Cole collab soon? What would that even sound like? Either way, Cole usually drops every 2 years, so he should be hitting us with new music hopefully sooner rather than later. That's news for now, but for all the latest on J. Cole, subscribe to Complex News on YouTube. For Complex, I'm Frazier. There be
stuff like that. We've been friends for like 15 years and shit. Where you from? Massachusetts.
I was fucking shaving my head, smoking weed in the bathroom, was like super steamed up. I was so deep into this podcast, and I was looking at my phone, and like J. Cole said, I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Bro, pleasure, man.
Yo, that's crazy. How you doing?
What do you mean you're deep in the podcast? Like, you're editing the podcast?
I'll show you. This guy, Sam Harris. He's the fucking most brutal critic of Trump ever. Like, he's like the best dude I know of at explaining why Trump is the fucking worst. It's just like so over-discussed that it's like hard to have an interesting perspective on it, you know?
Without saying some basic shit.
Yeah, because how the fuck do you like say the same thing that everybody knows without fucking sounding cliche, you know?
How'd you get on it?
Shit, he's just like one of the most influential, like, I got into him because he, back in the day, used to write books about religion and shit. And then, like, he's kind of taken on more. He talks about, like, meditation from the perspective of, like, a non-religious person, you know? And I got super into him from that, too. And then he's just kind of gone deeper and deeper into politics. He's a shit.
When you say non-religious, like, meaning, like, as an atheist, or I don't fuck with organized religion?
Well, yeah, he's, like, a super hardcore atheist himself. But, I mean, he just kind of talks about how a lot of like how the meaning of people in like Western civilization has been sort of lost with the loss of religion. People become more secular, but then they end up like kind of left with like a void of like, or especially like with every like culture has had rituals in terms of like how to get deeper into thought, you know? And that's just like an overarching theme. And like just hearing him talk about how like there is a way for people who don't believe in a literal God to fucking embrace that and like get something out of it too is like very eye-opening to me.
And you identify with that? Like,
yeah, I'm an atheist, but in a sense, but not in like, I don't know, there's a lot of like assumptions that come about atheism, you know?
I got questions actually. I've been thinking about this. So my thing is like, as an atheist, does your non-belief in God come from a turn off that religion, like religion turns you off? Or did it come from like years of thinking like that doesn't make sense to me, like that there's any power higher than
To me, to be honest, I found out that I didn't believe in God when I was like 12. And it was just, to me, it's like a very like literal thing in the sense that I don't believe that there's any way for us to know about what happens after you die,
Right.
or how we got here and stuff like that. And I think
There's
that
no way to prove that.
right, and the only like logical way to find out about that would be through science. And that's not even to say anything of the way that like religion actually functions and works in
For
practice,
sure.
in
For
which
sure.
it's like constantly used to
Control.
hold on to ancient beliefs that are dangerous or harmful or whatever. And I mean that goes for every religion.
Last question. Do you think that there's even a possibility that a God exists? Or like, and when I say God, obviously, clearly there's mad associations that come with that and like an idea of that. But remove that idea, and do you believe in any type of spirituality? Like, do you think that that's possible?
I watch the vlog and shit, roll games.
For sure.
Thank you. And he the gatekeeper for now. All them interviews, bro. I'm mad X and you ain't X ain't let you manage them, bro.
Oh man.
Because I definitely went through a point in my life where it was like, 7th grade fucked me up. 7th grade science class. Because we started talking about fucking dinosaurs and evolution. And all of that shit sounded logical to me. You know what I mean? And it like fascinated me. It was at one point like 2nd, 3rd grade, I wanted to be a fucking archaeologist or something. That shit was mad cool. But then I hit 7th. But then it's also, we go to church. Then it's also, you hear all this shit about Adam and Eve and boom, boom, boom. So 7th grade is like, well, if I can't believe in both of these. I hit a point in my 12-year-old mind.
That when you were young, because I never felt like my version of Christianity that my parents handed me was like in conflict with like science class. But how old are you?
32.
Oh, you're about the same age as me. Yeah, I never remember thinking that, but like the version of Christianity I was brought up with was also very much like, because religion is what they tell you it is, and like for my parents it was like treat everybody good. Racism is bad, homophobia is bad, anti-woman stuff is bad. That's like what I grew up thinking religion was.
They hit a point where I had to like question it for the first time, where it was like I wasn't sure, but then I felt bad about that. I went and got baptized because I was like, I felt guilty for even having a thought that like, well, if what y'all are saying is this and what y'all, like for even having a negative thought about it, like I went and got baptized, started reading the Bible, I was scared as fuck. And then it hit a point in my life where it's like, I just fell off and like, I'll let the answer come. And as I got older, I feel like I had a personal understanding of like what God is to me. Strong belief too of like, it has nothing to do with what y'all are talking about, more like a personal understanding. And of course, I could never even fathom it, but as close as I could get to understand it, I can understand it. But then that always had me thinking, I would listen to like, I used to fuck with Bill Maher. Yeah. I started like really watch his show, and then he put out this, it was like a religious movie, I don't know if you've seen it when it came out. That shit turned me off. Because like, I didn't mind that you were atheist, but it's like he was, somewhere along the line, I feel like his trash in the religion.
He started bashing religion.
Started bashing religion, which I didn't, it's cool, like there's some funny shit. You know, there's a lot of things to make jokes about with religion, but I couldn't understand. I was like, man, you're so turned off by religion, you're missing the God aspect. It's making you totally oblivious to the fact that like, yo, there may be a spiritual realm, but I've never had a chance to really like dive in with an atheist and ask the questions of like, yo, do you think that that's a possibility? And if not, why?
Especially as my voice has gotten louder in the hip hop shit, that's just, it was always something I was interested in, like but then like as time goes by, I feel so much more attracted to the idea of like, this is not like a conversation I'm trying to be having all the time publicly because I don't want to look like I'm putting anybody down. Sure. And I also always feel like simplistic messages are good. Yeah. So it's like when I talk about politics to my audience and I know that they're not the most affluent people in politics or whatever, it's like I want to make sure I like hit the big targets and not get into the minutia of talking about little tiny things and everything. You know, I like talking about religion for sure, but I just, as soon as I realized like, oh, the impression that people have of you is starting to become that you're the dude who's looking out for young rappers and helping put them on, I was like, oh damn, like that's a very important role, and I don't want to like clutter how I'm viewed publicly by like going into depth about certain things. You know, I'm sure that there's been things that you've thought about in your career like that, because no matter what you put out as art, the reality always has to be way more complicated. You know?
That's real.
But for me, with religion, I think religion is just the way, like man's earliest attempt to explain why we're here. And we're talking about something that occurred thousands of years ago. Like in order to be a Christian, in my opinion, you have to believe that the Bible is the best book that's ever been written about how to live your life. And that there is no improvement that you could really make to it. I don't really believe that.
The basic question is I'm just saying, fuck. How was the first, even if we don't know the science, we can't break down the Big Bang Theory, to a science as a scientist can. But what, even let's say in this basic theory, the Big Bang theory, is that from a particle or from something, there was an explosion. Why was there that first thing? You know what I mean? Or like, where does that come from? And that was ultimately the thing that could never get me to say, like, that was the reason why I could.
Hoping. J. Cole interview 4 days ago.
Nice. Good shit.
Dude, they're talking about religion, talking about fucking. Because this guy that I just barely started following, where he has a vlog and he's pretty cool and shit. You know, he says that he's an atheist and yeah, he doesn't believe in God. You know, believes that everybody should be doing whatever the fuck you want to do. You know, if you want to do what you want, that's what you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then and like, I think he's like, his vlog's mostly about like trying to fucking meet new rappers, up and coming rappers, and trying to like put them on or whatever. And so it's fucking weird that fucking J. Cole like stopped. I heard I don't know, I was on Instagram, said J. Cole stopped by at the No Jumper. I'm like, what the fuck? I know this motherfucker. There's no way that J. Cole's interviewing with this fool. This fool just interviews new fucking new rappers, you know. But he's cool. He's a cool dude. Like, I guess like he vlogs, and then he also owns a bike shop, and it's him and it's a Dreamboat team stopping by, or J. Cole and like 2 or 3 of his boys stopping by at this bike shop. Nice. And they meet this dude. They're like, hey dude, you're the No Jumper guy or whatever. And then the guy was like, it's like, yeah man, like I got a text that saying you were gonna stop by at the shop. I didn't believe it, and fuck, dude, you're here. Like, it's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I heard you don't do interviews at all. So, you know, as you can see, well, I was super surprised. He's like, yeah, man, you know, just decided to stop by. I'm here in LA, and yeah, they're just straight talking about fucking, like a little bit of politics, and then J. Cole's just straight up asking him like religious questions, like why don't you like is it because you're like, are you afraid, or like is that an uncomfortable subject, or like. I guess it's pretty cool the way he's doing it, way.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Check it out, way. Hey, wait. The food's ready?